Hello everyone. In this video, I wanted to do a little bit of coding uh, in Java and work with the Azure Storage account. And what we're gonna follow is kind of this particular guideline they have from Microsoft for the Quickstart manage blobs with Java version 12 SDK. So what I'm gonna do, I just created a GitHub repository Azure Java, and we're gonna work and update our code and push our code back to this particular repository so you can quickly access the code that we are writing. But it will be very similar to this code example that we have, so you can also get it from here as well. So let's see what to do. So here, if you don't need this step, but if you do have Azure, Git account, you can create this folder if you want to follow completely, but not required. So we have got this repository. So what I'm gonna do, typically what we'll do, we'll come over here and I'm gonna copy this repository and come to my terminal, and let's see, nothing, it's a new Mac. So let me see, I may not have anything configured properly. Oh, it says everything is cloned. So I'm already got this repository, that is good. So ls, so Azure Java is the repository, so let's get in there. Okay, so there is the readme file license, everything looks good. So in this example, we're going to follow this quick start, but really this Maven to create your MVN architecture is you can create it any way you like. So this is the partial version and this is the bash version. So since we are not working with the partial, I'm going to go to the partial on the bash version of it, copy this code, and I already have MVN, which is the Apache Maven, to create the project structure. It's already have available in my system installed, and if you don't have that and you need help, look out for the video. You should be able to install it, pretty simple. So I'm going to copy this command, come back over here, Azure Java, and paste it over here and hit enter. And it says ambient command not found, so that is not good. So let's make sure that our ambient command is out there and properly available to my let's see, our MVN, we know that it's here in my path. So what we'll do, I'm just make sure that my path is available. I'm just going to copy this particular command, come over here, my MVN package that is installed under opt Apache Maven. I'm just going to add it to the path. So let's hit enter. I'm just gonna type mvn-v just to make sure now, yeah, okay, it's now available to me. So do a clear. So what we'll do, we'll come back to our page, and we're gonna copy this command and go back to the terminal, and we're gonna run it. So again, it's a pretty standard command, mvn archetype generate, and then you're giving some interactive mode, group ID, artifact ID, archetype, artifact ID, and the version. So just hit enter. Let's see what happens. So it's just going, and it just say, hey, it got everything that it needed and the build is successful. So at this time you can do ls. It should have created a new package, a new folder for me, which is the block quickstart v2, and this one should have. So let's just get in there, and if I click on it, you see the pom.xml and the src file, both are there. Now at this time you can import your code to your favorite IDE. I have both Eclipse and the IntelliJ IDEA installed, so I'm just going to use the IntelliJ IDEA for this particular lab. So I'm just going to go to the file, hit open, and let's see, I gotta go to documents, and then Azure samples, Azure Java, blobs, quickstart, and then to import the project, all we need to do is click on the POM file and hit open. And I'm going to open this as a project, and in a new window is what I'm going to do. So it's now opening up my Maven project in my favorite IDEs. If I click on it, it should have the POM file, and it should have all the structure, like the main, you have Java, then com.blobs with Quickstart, and here is the app, and there should be some test code as well and the app test. Okay, so over here now, if I open up this app, it has some sample hello world program, and if I run it, where is my run button? Run, and it should compile properly and should be able to give you the hello world output. So I know that everything is working great so far. So let's go back over here. So let's see how do you connect to your blob. Okay, before we do anything, we want to create a data folder where we can store data, and we're going to use this path to upload and download data from our Azure Storage. So let's just come back over here as well, in here pest and mkdir data. Let's go back to our IntelliJ IDEA, and here the data folder showed up. Okay, so over here, next we want to add this particular dependency, which is the Azure Storage blob. So it's pretty simple. So just copy this one. Again, you're going to update the POM file. Go over here. Here your dependencies are all in here. Come down, Control V. So you have the dependencies now added. What you need to do over here, if you click on this load Maven changes, it will load, and if you do not have these dependencies available locally, it will be downloaded. Okay, and then I'm just gonna save it and come back over here. So now we have taken care of the dependencies that we're gonna use to work with the Azure Storage, which is the artifact ID Azure Storage blob, and this is the version that we're gonna use. Now in this one, the next thing that you can do, we need to be able to connect to our storage account. So you need to be able to go to Azure portal, and I'm hoping that you have one. If you don't have, just register for one for the free account, and start working with it. You will get probably $200, that's for free, and that should be plenty to get started. So once you have that, here I have created one storage account. Okay, and it's really simple to create storage account. You just hit okay. So let's just create a storage account as we speak. Okay, I'll show you how easy it is. So let's put it in a new resource group. Say test Java is the resource group that I'm gonna use, and storage Java code. Okay, upload. Let's see if it's, yeah, so this is it has to be all lowercase and globally unique, and you will see that the green tick mark says this name is available, and that's pretty much all I need. If you want to know more of the storage account, look for other videos, but this is all you need to create a storage account and be able to start working with it. So let's just create this one, and again it takes literally like less than a minute or so to create a storage account, and just having a storage account will not cost you anything unless you start storing files and folders and stuff in it. You will not be charged, so keep that in mind as well. So here the deployment is in progress. Okay, you could have done this in other ways as well. You could have done this using PowerShell, but I just wanted to show you how to create that using the portal. And once I have this account available, yeah, see, it's all done. So go to resource, and what you have, you see there is container, there's nothing there, there's no container. Okay, so how do we work with this particular storage account? Now there are many ways to connect to a storage account. Here what we will do, we're gonna go under setting, there's access key, and I'm gonna do show keys, and I'm gonna get one of these keys for this particular lab. But remember, this key is very crucial for you to keep it secret. Anybody has access to the key, they will have access to everything in your storage account. So this is a temporary account. I'll be getting rid of it after I'm done with the lab, so you can so I'm showing it this way, but for your own sake, do not expose this key anywhere in your code. All right, so this is how you get to the key. So let's get back to our code. So here they're saying they copy your credentials from the Azure portal. So here there are many ways where you can store the key. in this example, what they're doing, they are creating environmental variable Azure storage connection string, and they're storing the connection string in your environment. Okay, either you Windows, Linux, Mac doesn't matter. And then once you do that, if you restart the program, like the ID that I'm using, it will have access to this particular environment variable. Now we are not going to do that. We're going to skip it. We're going to use the key directly in our code, because we know that, you know, we're going to get rid of this whole storage account, so there's no security issues. What I recommend, you store maybe the key in a key vault and use it that way, or use some other method. So over here, just to give you, I hope that you already know the object model for the storage. So when you create the storage account is what we created, okay, from portal. You could have done this in other ways as well. So we said it's what we called it, Java code upload. Okay, that's what we call. So when you come over here, that Sally, instead of Sally, just read it as Java code sample. So inside the storage account, it's not enough just to have the storage account. You have to create a container, okay, and inside the containers, you will be uploading the blobs, and blobs, you think about files, okay. So they, in this example that they're showing, they have two different containers, pictures and movies, and they have couple pictures inside the pictures container and a movie file inside the movie container. So if I look at our example, if we come over here, go to the overview again. Right now, this is where we're working on. We're not working with file share, not working with table or queues. We're working with containers, okay? So right now I have nothing, so I cannot directly create anything. So you can create container from here as well, from portal, but we're gonna create that using our code. So that's about it. So once I have a container, now I can upload files, okay? So, but we want to do this programmatically. So let's see how to do that. So come back over here. So, and there are few Java classes that will be working with the blob service client that is going to allow you to manipulate the Azure storage resources in the blob containers. Blob client service builder that provides a fluent builder API to help aid the configuration and instantiation of blob service client object. Blob container client allow you to manipulate the client, the Azure storage containers and the blobs. So you just read up a little bit more, and we'll just look at the code. And this code that they have given us, they're gonna do a whole bunch of things. Get the container string, that is the secret key. Then create the container, upload blobs to a container, list the blobs in the container, download the blobs, and delete a container, all of it. So here is what we are not going to do, okay. This is what they have already saved, the environmental variable, and the system.getEnv as your storage connection string is going to get that variable. Instead, we're just going to keep this, get this code, come back and go to our application, and let's see here, hit enter. And instead of having this, I don't need this anymore. Just paste this code, and this, instead of getting it from the environmental variable, I'm just gonna get it from my Azure portal and store it as a string. Okay, again, this is not the best practice, but this is I'm just going to show you how to use this in code. Sorry, so I'll show keys, and I'm just going to get this, the connection string, copy this, and over here in string, connection string, and I'm just going to say, come on, and there we go. So I have now pasted my whole connection string in here, okay. So Control S, so we got that. So now once I have the secret, my connection string, I can work with my storage account. Again, here a few things: the name that you're gonna create the container, okay, it has to be lowercase, and it has to be unique under one particular container. So here if you copy the code, and let's look at what they are doing over here. So come over here and paste it, and let's see what is going on with this code. So first of all, what you're gonna need is the blob service client. Okay, and other thing that you need to also do, you need to update your imports. Okay, so this is the one that I'm gonna add, not that here. Okay, so we need to be able to work with the Azure Storage blob and the blob models. Plus, we'll do some file input output operations to create some sample data files. So let's get all of that. Come back over here and save it. Okay, and I'm gonna get this right. I have this. No, this is fine. So we have that, and command S. So now see the red marks that were there, they're now gone. Okay, so now look if what they're doing over here. So here we are creating a blob service client, and what we are doing, we are saying new blob service client connection string, and this connection string is the connection string that we have already defined here, and then we are building the client. Okay, once the client is built, then we are going to create a container. Okay, first we are creating a container name, and here we are just going to use this to create a unique name for the container. Java.util uuid random uuid. You're just going to add quickstart blobs, and you're going to add this particular random uuid. If you don't want that, we can also get rid of this, and I know that this is already unique, so I can just keep it that way, right? So it will be a quick start blobs would be the name of the container. So next, what we're going to do now, we have defined the container name. Now we're going to use the container client. Okay, then we're going to apply create blob container, and then we're going to pass the container name. So this client is going to create the container for us. So just to show you how it works. Okay, what we'll do, let's just get some more code, then we'll come back over here. So let's come back down. So we have done that. We looked at what this needs to, that is doing. Now upload blobs to containers. So right now the data folder that we created, there is no data in there. Okay, so if you look at this section of the code, okay, so let's now put over here. So this section of the code, if you look at it, create a local file in the .data directory. So now string local path, we are saying that it's .data, and now here string file name quickstart, and again they are using a random uuid. Let's keep it this time. And then once you have the file name shared, they're creating a file, local file, and providing the file name to the local path. And then they're also writing some stuff in here. What they're writing, you're using file writer, and then providing the file name, and then append true, so this file will be appended, and they're writing hello world. So let's do this. So that's good. And then once the this is done, all of it's done, then we are closing the file. So here, why is it complaining? So we don't need to do that. So you can improve your code, but right now I'm not worried about code quality at the moment. All right, now what we'll do, we're gonna create, we're gonna get a reference of the blob. So the blob is going to be the file. Okay, that's, think about that way. So we're gonna create the blob client, and we're gonna create call the method container client.get blob client, and the file name, and the file name is the file that we have just created. It's what we're gonna provide. Okay, and then we're gonna upload, and to upload you're gonna use the same blob client so that we have already created. We're gonna say blob client.upload from file. So let's get all of that code, come back over here, and put it right there. So that should upload the file for us. Let's see, and then you can list the blobs in a container. So let's just see. After the upload is completed, we can add and list the content. If you see, if it's just a for loop for blob item in the container client dot get the list of blobs, you're just going through and getting the name of the blob item. So if you have multiple blobs, it will print multiple items. Okay. Now to download blob, it's also very simple. So just get that one, and if you look, it should look very simple. As of the upload code, again string download file name, again you're doing file name to replace download.txt is the name that you're going to use. And again you're creating another file because the other file object we have already closed it, that we had the writer dot close, I mean the file, possibly we closed it previously. Okay, so come back down. Here you're getting the file, creating the file, and then blob client, then download to file, and then local path and download file name. Uh, so same file that we're going to upload from our local, when we are downloading, we are going to rename that to download.txt. Okay, so and finally we can delete the container if you like, if we want. So this one I don't want to do at the moment. So at this time, let's come back over and see if we can even run this code. So lots of things are happening. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to add a breakpoint. Well, actually, first just run it first. Okay, then we're gonna see if we need to debug this code. So if I'm running, so it's still complaining about this particular section. Where is it? uh, Line 29 is 29. I always like this part where you have a trouble. So 29, new file writer. So let's see. Okay, file writer surround with add exceptions to the message signature. So let's just do that. That should be pretty simple to fix. And run it one more time. This time it's working good. So all I did is really added an exception for this method to our method. So if you look at the method, it should have added the IO exception to my method, and that's about it. So that's all the changes that I did. If you look at the code right here, so now it's saying uploading blob to storage account, listing blobs, and downloading blobs process. So now what I want you to look at, so everything looks that went just fine. So if you go to the data, so look at that. So you created one file and download the same files and renamed it after it downloaded, but both files is the same content, hello world, hello world. Okay. Let's see what else is like intriguing. So let's go back to our storage account and let's see if what's going on in here. So under container, we expect to see the quick start blob. So this one we created manually. So this one that we created programmatically. So now it's all updated, and this is the file that we have uploaded, and then we downloaded this file, and it's all work just fine. So what I'll do at this time, uh, come back over here, come back to the code, and let's see if I can add the last piece of code that we have to delete the container. So copy and paste. And what is gonna happen, so I'm gonna change the name of my container this time, because, or make it one. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. Save and run. While it's running, we'll look at this particular blob, and so this is the one that is getting created, and something here did so it says press the enter key to begin the cleanup. And the cleanup, the return for the Java. So the cleanup for some reason was not was not successful. Okay, so we may have to look at the cleanup method a little bit more. But what we have done so far, okay, so we have created the first blob. It worked fine. We created the file. We download the file. We created the next container. We uploaded the same file, or created another file, uploaded and downloaded, and come back over here. So the delete is the only one that we did not really. So here they're saying system.out press to enter key to begin the cleanup, and here we got the problem. So other way to run this app, so let's look at that one real quick. Run the code. So instead of running it from within our IDE, we can also try this ambient compile. So let's just do this as well. So we are here. So let's see if the program compiles. Okay, so compile worked good. Okay, actually what, you know what, so I'm gonna change that name again to 3, and then container name to 2. Save, and then I'm gonna compile it. So let's compile and then compile. So we got it, and then we're gonna come back over here, and we're gonna build the package by running ambient package. So paste, hit enter. So everything seems to be working fine. And last thing that we're gonna do, run the following command to execute the app. So I'm gonna copy this one. You can come back, paste it over here, and hit enter. So it's now so you are running the application not from the console anymore. You're running the application using your Maven. So here you see, so it's uploaded the file, listing the blob, downloading blob to this, and then press enter to begin the cleanup. So before I press enter, let's look at our Azure one more time. Go to storage accounts. This is the one that we're using. Overview, containers. So now you should have created the 2. Now come back to our console, and it says press any key to begin the cleanup. So I'm gonna hit enter, and now it said deleting blob container, deleting the total source and the downloaded files. Everything should be now clean. So if I now go back to Azure, so this container should be gone. So let's just refresh and see, and it is gone. So what it really did, it also cleaned up some of the files that we created even over here. So probably if you refresh, it created some file, and then it just cleaned up some files over here as well. So everything seems to be working just fine. So again, so the quick way to connect to your storage account using Java, to use your blob service client, and it's pretty simple. And just make sure that your connection string, you are keeping it in a different place. Do not put this code in as part of your code. Store it in a key vault, or figure out some other way to call this particular key. But once you have this key available to you, it's pretty easy to programmatically create and upload your files. You don't have to create files programmatically. You can just get a whole bunch of files, dump it in here, and you can upload all of the files from here. You can put this upload a file and then run a loop, and it will take all the files in your in the path that you're suggesting, and it will upload to your storage. So that's kind of all I wanted to show in this particular video. So let me just get status before we close out. So it says on branch up to date, git status. Okay, so what I'll try to do, I'll try to upload the code in my GitHub repository. Okay, git and you will also have access to this code. And Okay, we'll just upload this code, and I'll give it to you, and you'll have access to this code, so you can if you want to just use my code with the little bit of modification that I did. If you want to perform this using a Java console, a Java application, you can do that. Again, we in this example we use Maven. You don't really have to use that one, but if you're familiar with Maven, go ahead and use it. There are many other ways to do it. So hopefully it will get you some tips to get started. Well, thanks for watching. If you like it, click the like button, subscribe if you like, and have a great day. Thank you.